Dear friends, once a successful restaurant owner who had no particular religious affiliation said to a neighborhood father or pastor, "Father, I don't want to disillusion you, but some of the unethical people I meet here are the Christians. Aren't the Christians supposed to be special?" The priest said, "Yes, they are." That conversation makes us wonder, how are the church-going Christians different from others? Let us consider two following cases. A ticket seller of a limo service at the airport said to a man with his teenage son, "Sir, your son looks young for his age. Buy a half-fare ticket and save yourself a few bucks." If you had been that father, what would you say? Second, a mother caught her 5-year-old daughter with a stolen candy bar from a supermarket. If you were that mom, what would you do? The answer is found in today's readings. These two cases focus on the mutual responsibility or obligation we Christians have towards one another. Christians have an obligation to do what is right, also to help others to do what is right. That is why Jesus told his disciples in Matthew chapter 5, "You are like salt of the earth and light of the world. Your light must shine before others." Let us now return to the two cases I mentioned earlier. The first case actually happened in Chicago, and the father of the boy told the ticket seller, "I appreciate where you are coming from, but I want my son to be truthful when he grows up, even when it works to his disadvantage." What about the mother with the daughter who stole the candy bar? This, in fact, happened in Dallas, and the mom had the child return the candy bar to the store and apologize. But the manager of the store said, "Don't worry about it. My employees steal much more than that from me every day." Here, the manager gave the impression that stealing is no big deal. But the mother was right, indeed, because stealing is always wrong, no matter how big or small the item is. So these two Christian parents listened to Jesus' instruction or command very seriously. If your brother sins against you, go to him and show him his fault, but do it privately between you and the other person. In this context, a British statesman, Edmund Burke, once said this: "All that is needed for evil to prosper in this world is for good people to remain silent." What Jesus had taught us about the fraternal correction can be very useful in raising our own children. Correction is one of the parents' fundamental duties. In Hebrew chapter 12, we read, "What son is not disciplined by his father?" Therefore, totally renouncing every form of corrections is one of the worst things that a parent can do to their children. And sadly, this is becoming more common these days. Of course, we must do this correction lovingly and tactfully with our children. Dear friends, conflict is not strange to our families or to our own personal life. But there is a Christian way of dealing with it. that doesn't seek revenge, but helping the other person's return to God's grace again. There is a common saying among the British people that goes, friends don't let friends drive drunk. I think that is very practical advice for all of us. That means we have a mutual responsibility towards each other if we really care about them. And as Christians, we have a duty not to stand by and watch others destroy themselves or their life, because we do care about their well-being. Finally, the point of today's readings is that Christian love is not merely a feeling or an emotion, but a duty. According to St. Thomas Aquinas, one of the greatest philosophers and theologians of the Church, says this: love is an act of our will for the well-being of the other. Let me repeat. Love is an act of our will for the well-being of the other. Let's ask ourselves, how do our actions reflect the well-being of other people? I like to close with a country song by Martina McBride. It is titled, Anyway. No worries, I'm not going to sing for you anyway. It reads, people are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you are good, people will accuse you of ulterior motives. Do good anyway. Honesty and frankness will make you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyway. People really need help, but may attack you if you help them. Help them anyway. In the final analysis, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway.